Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Things are a-changing, and that's what we're going to talk about here on Issues and Answers today. If you've gone to a film recently, you know the seating has changed. I mean, you can rumble in your seat, you can hear all this noise, things popping, exciting. Well, that's just your seating. What about the film itself? How has that changed? Well, I bet you look at all the animation, and I recall once my mom saw this film recently, and she said, those people looked really strange in that movie. Well, because they were animated people, they weren't real. But anyways, you know that the experience of enjoying and appreciating film has changed. Well, what we're going to share with you today is our filmmaking here in New Mexico, especially with the CNM program, has certainly changed and is moving forward and actually moving locations. So today on Issues and Answers, we're going to talk about CNM, the Digital Film Department, and how things are changing, and maybe you can appreciate your film experience even more. So please stay with us. We'll be back right after this. And care. Well, I think going to a film now, you also can buy beer and dinner and things like that. Okay, that's all changed. So the whole experience has changed. Loosen up, have a tap beer, have some dinner. Well, back in my day, it was just seeing the film itself, but there's so much more to it. And because there's so much more to it, people are expecting more, demanding more, especially if tickets are what? How much are they? $22, if not more? Okay. We're paying a lot, but the experience is there. And I have two professionals who are with me in the studio today who are going to share about how they're training students to capture that experience. I have Jeanette Lorera, and she is a full-time film instructor at the CNM Film and Digital Media Department at CNM. And I'm so pleased that Alan Trevor has joined us, and he is the director of the CNM department. And
Yep.
You've been there for 5 years?
Been there 5 years.
And we're training students to be in the film and digital media, and we're going to talk about big changes for you. But first, please, Alan, what is film and digital media? Let's start with the basics.
Well, at CNM, they're one of the original programs that started training students to work in the film industry in 2004. There's 5 schools total, CNM being one of them. Las Cruces, Santa Fe, Roswell, and Farmington, actually.
Are they all CNM? I mean, are they?
No.
Oh, they're different film schools.
Different film schools.
Oh, okay.
And so CNM was just one of them.
One of the 5.
One of the 5. And so they started training. I moved there in 2020 and took over the program to start training students there. After the current leadership, changed or retired, moved on, and kind of led it in a new direction. And now looking at moving to the rail yards next year in the summer.
Those are the big changes going on there,
Yeah.
Alan. Thank you. Jeanette Lorera.
Hi.
Thank you for being part of this program. How long have you worked as a film instructor at CNM?
So at CNM, I'm coming up on 2 years in January. I am teaching about four and a half years. So.
How do you have expertise in film?
I started actually at the film program down in Roswell. And actually, Alan was one of my instructors back in the day, and he introduced me to film. And then I started working in this industry since 2007. So I've been doing film since 2007 till present day now.
When she says doing film, Ellen, we're going to find out what Jeanette means by doing
Yeah.
film. But back to you. Of course, in 2004. I think that's when maybe the state of New Mexico got very serious about giving big tax breaks to the film industry to produce films.
Yeah, and they're just incentives. So basically, it's an incentive program that allows filmmakers to get some money back off of the money that they spend. So you have to spend money in order to get money back. It's 25. Started at 25%, and then
that's the tax break. 25. I mean, I worked I worked at the legislature.
Yeah.
It was kind of controversial, but
Yeah.
we didn't have the film industry as large as it was. But you give them 25% back,
Yeah.
they're going to come, and they came.
And they came. They had to compete with places like Canada. They had to compete with all the other states. internationally and nationally. And so we took the lead on designing a very unique program because we're a rebate program, not a credit program. And
You're a what kind of program?
We're a rebate program, not a credit program. So we tailor ours uniquely. Everybody else does credits, so they're a little different. And so we still lead. We are still one of the major states to still have film production going on. Things have changed in the last year or so, but we're good. We're number 4 in the number of productions being shot in the state over the United States. So we're
number 4 in the past years. And that all meant, Alan, we had to train people to be able to work. That's where we come into C&M and the 4 other institutions that are training. So we're going to talk about the training that we've enjoyed here in the state, what needs. But it seems like you are a product of all of this because you seem like you're the generation to start up in the film industry when it was just starting to boom here in our state.
Yes.
So tell me, where did you go to school? Where did you grow up, Jeanette?
I am from Roswell, New Mexico, born and raised. I went to ENMUR. That's where I joined the film program down in Roswell, where Alan started it.
And that's Eastern New Mexico?
University of Roswell. Yes.
But Eastern New Mexico.
Eastern.
Okay.
And then from there...
Because Eastern's in Portales.
Yeah, that's our sister school.
But the branch is in Roswell. So you went to high school and then you decided to go to college.
I did, yes.
And did you think? What was your first
career
choice?
My first career choice, that was auto and body mechanics, but they didn't let me, and so I was like, well, what else can I do?
Wait a second.
I know.
That's not good. I wish I need that.
I know.
What do you mean they didn't let you?
They just, gave me the runaround, and so they're like, you need to choose something. So I went with graphic design, who Alan was teaching at the time also. I signed up, and then I was a work study for the media arts department there as well. And he was an instructor for, I feel, all the classes. And so he had hired me to be a research analyst on a small documentary that they were doing. And I showed up to set.
This was a position, this was while you were still in college?
This is why I was still in college. First semester in.
Oh, wow.
And as a student, you're like, yeah,
wow.
I'll take $1,000.
A paid position.
A paid position, yeah. And so from there, I went to the set to take him some documents or something. And I saw the camera and I fell in love. And I was like, sign me up. And so that summer, I started the film program. And I've been doing film ever since.
Started in the film program in Roswell.
In Roswell, yes. And I've worked in a grip department, electric, camera, props, hair and makeup, and costumes.
Now, did they teach all of that in Roswell?
Yeah, he taught all the equipment, everything. Yeah, and then...
did you graduate?
I did,
With a degree in what?
Associates in graphic design and film certificate. So.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Oh gosh. I took a little bit of a break because honestly, like, his program went into getting us actual jobs as students. And so then I took a break off and then I came back and it was like 2009, I think it was, around there.
That you graduated. But you've been working in the industry.
Since 2007, yes. Yeah.
Doing what types of things?
Oh, independent feature works, documentaries.
Well, when you say document, what did you do for them? Camera work?
Camera work, a lot of camera work, so a lot of second assistant work, first camera assistant work.
What does that mean?
So it's a lot of positions, but so a second AC on a film set, you handle the clapper, which is a slate.
Yes.
So you mark at the top of the scene, and you also do camera reports, and you help with a camera build.
And that means setting up the camera?
Assist with camera.
And what do you mean by reporting?
We have like little tiny camera reports where we label everything and we number like what was shot, what lenses was used, what camera settings, what height, and all that gets turned into the post-editing department. So it helps them do their job. So.
Didn't know that happened behind the scenes.
It's a lot of intricate paperwork and stuff like that that we have to keep track of. So.
But they need to know the lens, the length of the lens, and the lighting, and all that.
Yes.
They can't just choose whatever looks good to their eye. They need to have all that down. Interesting.
Settings and everything.
So you worked in the industry, how many years would you say, Jeanette?
Oh gosh, since 2007. What are we at, like almost 19?
Well, now you're an instructor.
But I still work on set though. So even though, even though I got hired on as CNM, I still make it a point to try and work as a day player on film sets so that I could stay sharp with, you know, my skills
Yes,
and
well,
bring
you
those
need
back
to be
into
able
the
to tell-
classroom. And Alan does
Fabulous.
as well too. So we both try to day play on, like, the last one that we day played on was on Duster and Dark Winds. And so,
Day
yeah,
play means you're working for them
for the day. For the day, you know, but then that turns into 2 days, 3 days, or a week. You know, every time, every moment that we can spare that we have, that we're not instructing or doing our normal, you know, job, is that we're 12 hours on a film set. So
Alan, you know, Jeanette said before we started this program, she was a little nervous. Does she seem nervous to you? I don't think so. Yeah, thanks, Jeanette.
once I get rolling,
Yeah, I
you know?
guess so. She's a rolling.
So.
Alan, fabulous.
Thank you.
You did well instructing her and many others. Let's go back into discussing how C&M developed their program, film, how successful it was, and you know this better than I, but I know a lot of films have come into our state. And we'll talk about the writer's strike and how that affected things in recent years. But let's say in the 2000, after the program started, 2010, 15, all those years, a lot of productions. You said number 4 in the nation.
Currently.
But hiring-wise, I know there was criticism years ago that these films came, but they brought all the high-paying positions from out of state, and their post-production was maybe out of state, and that's where a lot of money was spent. But tell me about the students. I mean, we're not just teaching kids to be grips here, and a grip is bringing around the camera and the cables, right? But what have you seen through the years of how the jobs and job placements have changed?
It's been very successful. In fact, actually, the union just did a report, because that was a question. How many out-of-state jobs are we actually losing?
Well, we're not losing, but being filled by
being
people
filled.
from out of state,
And
okay?
we're running about 80% New Mexicans, 80 to 90% New Mexicans. So it's not
And where does
shabby.
this report, no,
This was done by the union. This was done by our local union.
oh, the local union.
The local film union that we,
480.
yeah, because that was a question. That was a question about, you know, a lot of people saying that we were losing out to California workers or whatever. No.
And that's what I've always heard too.
Yeah, it's not. One of my good friends in the local 480, she ran the report. It turned out to be about 80% to 90% in some cases of local film productions were hired by New Mexican and run by New Mexicans. So
At the beginning, that perhaps wasn't the case because we
No,
didn't
because
have
we had to train people.
we didn't have people who
we
were
had to train.
trained.
That's why we created the schools. You know, we created a pathway, a pipeline, so that we could replace those out-of-state jobs for in-state jobs. So yeah, that's how it works. That's how we've been great with our teaching. I mean, most of our students that are successful in our program, we have to try to keep them into the program because they end up going to work before they graduate.
Yeah.
So they're actually working on film jobs before they graduate because of our partnership, our connection with the industry.
Jeanette, you're going, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of students, you know, and we encourage them. You know, we encourage them to take what we're teaching them to be ready, like on film set ready, to be actually, you know, out there and knowing what's expected of them. You know, all the nitty gritty stuff. So they actually know what to expect and how to do the job and continue working. I mean, he was on Pulse, and his whole crew was like students that he taught.
Yeah.
So like that says
Tell me about
something.
Pulse. Tell me about Pulse.
Oh yeah, well I didn't work on
Okay.
it, but he did.
Well, you're rolling though, Jeanette. She's nervous. She's nervous.
So it was a Netflix show that shot last year, about a little over a year ago, and built one of the largest medical hospitals for any TV show ever here at Netflix Studios. It was a beautiful set, gorgeous set. Anyways, so I ended up day playing because I still like to do that. Keeps my skills very sharp. Walked onto set, and every time I turned around, it was a student. Every time I heard my name, it was a student. So I ended up getting a photo of all the students that were working on that show, and I filled the grand staircase on their set of just nothing but my students, you know, with me standing there, all of them working on that show.
Tell me, where's the Netflix studio?
Where is it located? It's Mesa del Sol. It's one of the largest North American campuses for Netflix. It's
What are the
largest.
cross streets, Mesa del Sol?
It's
'Cause
Rio
there's-
Bravo.
Rio Bravo
Out
to the west or to the east?
to the east.
To the east. Okay, so it's back. You don't see it from I-25.
No, it's up tucked away. So, but they have the largest number of sound stages. They're the largest North American complex for any of the Netflix stages in the United States.
And for the, was it a film or was it a series?
It was a
Pulse?
series.
Series.
It's a medical drama.
Is it still on?
No, unfortunately, it was one of the minis that recently got canceled.
They built a hospital inside the set. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the first thing that was crazy is the whole place the whole film, this TV series took place in Miami. So we shot for Miami. So Albuquerque doubled for Miami.
I can see that.
And so,
Sand, water, palm trees,
so,
pinon.
so we did, for one of our scenes, we were outside on Central off of Silver with hurricane machines because the scene takes place during a hurricane. They built bomb trees, they built everything. They brought the hurricane machines in, and they brought the water machines in, and it made it look like downtown Miami during a hurricane, downtown Central off Silver. That's what we do.
Too cool. So driving around, actually the city, we see, how do we know there's a film going down by the street? There's some kind of barriers or something? I mean, we see them.
The yellow signs.
The yellow signs that say, crew parking this way, or, initials of go that way.
No, but also so you know not to go. I thought there was some kind of a
Barriers and stuff like
barriers.
Yeah,
and-
they do have barriers. That's whenever specialty scenes are happening, like car chases, where they have to get the city involved and do the blockades and get the police involved, and it's a whole progress or process that's really big. So it takes a lot of people to make a film.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's crazy, but you said the hospital they built in the sound set.
3-story.
3 stories, working elevators and all.
Yeah.
But this program only lasted 1 season?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Financial reasons, issues. It was also a project that started pretty much right around the writer's strike. And so a lot of the films, so Duster that we worked on, a few other shows that we worked on, unfortunately got hit with the writer's strike. So they were filming and then they had to pause during the writer's strike because you're not allowed to cross the picket lines. Then they got picked up again after the writer's strike. So, it costs a lot for these productions. And so we're in a situation right now where things are a little bit slow.
Let's talk, well, before we move into that, I want to hear what types of classes are you teaching at CNM?
So we teach production classes. So we're called set ready classes. Our classes are designed to get students ready to work. We're not a theory program. We're not a program that teaches them to be writers and directors. We love the students that want to do that. We love those students. They're the creatives. We want them to go through our program to learn below the line, and then we want them to go to UNM or Las Cruces, New Mexico State program. What we do is we train the technicians. We train the people that make up majority of the crew. We train 120 craft areas.
What ones do you teach?
Oh,
Everything.
So I teach intro to cinematography, which is I introduce them to all below the line crafts. So you have props department, set deck, costumes, hair and makeup, sound, camera, grip, electric, painting, puttying, construction. We have it all. Flooring. I mean, we teach from the ground up so that they know every department that they could possibly go into. And I also, talk about the sections that I don't know, like if you are coming from like the medical field, you can get hired on as a set medic and all this stuff. And, I teach film hierarchy, like what positions and, who is your boss and where to start and what's the best way to start. Production assistants. AD departments, you know, what do they do? How do they make call sheets? Script supervisors, because we need a ton of script supervisors and first ADs that are local, you know, and so we talk about a lot of things like that. And I also teach pre-production class, production, and post-production.
And her production class is building a New York-style bodega.
Right now we are building a New York style bodega, but I will say that I had a student write and direct. I give my students a chance to submit written scripts, and the class then chooses, and they chose his script, and he was given the chance to student direct. So he directed it, and it was Invaders of the Valley Saloon. Well, he took it, they edited it. They go from pre-production to shooting it for 12-hour days, and then they go into the editing phase so that they have a finished product at the end. And so he took it and he submitted it to a festival in Spain. We won Best Student Short, and they flew him out there this October to receive his award. Yeah, and we've been, you know, he's been submitting everywhere to all the festivals and have been winning a lot of awards.
And how long is the student short?
So for our midterms, we like to keep it about 6 to 7 pages. And for our final, we do like 12 to 13, 14 pages.
But how many minutes on film?
Roughly about 10, like 10 minutes, 13 minutes on screen.
And is it film or digital?
Digital.
It's digital.
It's digital. So
We
do
teach
we
them
do
on
any
the
film?
RE.
Do we do any film? But is it called the
No.
New Mexico CNN Film and Digital Media, or?
It's called CNN Film. It's just a catch-all.
Okay, but now it's mainly digital.
It's all digital. It's been the digital since,
Okay.
you know, the early 2000s.
What types of salaries can these students earn?
So, you know, salaries, it depends on the job, one. But on average, they're earning about $31 an hour for the first 8 hours. And then they're earning, you know, time and a half and a double after 12. So a student, I mean, I can only go off of what I was making, and I was just doing day play work, which was just the lowest level, which was a student would start at. We were bringing in about $480 a day.
Yeah.
So,
Very good.
yeah, so
The writer's strike, how did that affect film production here in New Mexico?
it stopped.
Completely just.
Everything stops. So we don't cross the picket line. You know, it's just one of those things. We honor whatever guild or union or
And
association
that was
is.
what year? 2003?
Yeah, 2003.
Okay.
And so coming out of 2003, 2004, production had to shift, had to readjust. It wasn't just the writers. There was our union, our local, along with the national IA local. We were looking to strike too, you know, just for increase in wages, increase in, you know, turnaround times, which are how long we have for breaks and all that kind of stuff. So we were fighting, you know, trying to, you know, increase our living wage and stuff like that. And so, you know, production's just changed. And so right now it's still changing. You know, the dollar is weaker and foreign production is higher, you know, so you can go and shoot over in Australia at a weaker dollar rate plus the rebate. You know, you're looking at, you know, 50% or more back on your dollar for a production. So it's hard to compete with that.
What is the biggest competition now?
Australia, and New Zealand are our
It's
biggest.
far. It's really far.
Yeah,
It's
that's our,
really
Beautiful,
far.
but it's far.
It's really
you know.
far.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll come back. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Is that mainly because of the dollar?
No, we had an influx of the number of productions being shot. So studios really ramped up the number. So instead of doing maybe one studio did 10 productions, they now were doing 20 productions. They were doubling everything in 2020, 23, 22, 23, and 24, they were doubling everything. And now they've dropped everything off, so it looks less, it looks slower. And so it's just going to take time for the industry to reset. We're already seeing productions starting to come back. We're already hearing about productions starting to come back for second seasons and third seasons. And, you know, Dark Winds will come back at the beginning of the year. The new TV show by Vince Gilligan, Pluribus, just has hit the top rating in Rotten Tomatoes and on IMDb, best scores ever. And so, you know, for a TV show, that's going to come back. So we're seeing productions kind of recircle back around. It's one of these things. This industry's always been volatile. It's been around 120 years.
And it's
goes up and
always
down.
fluctuating. It's
Yeah.
always like a roller coaster, right? So we have our downfall, and then we go back up and then down.
And so that's what we train our students to be more resilient, how to adjust to those ups and downs. Don't do one job, train in 5 different areas so that you can, oh, this one I'm not going to get hired, so I'll do this job, or I'll do that job, I'll do this job. And you can also do commercials, you can do documentaries. There's also other productions going on. It's not just film. It's not what the latest Netflix show is going on. They can go and do commercials. They can go and do photo shoots. They can go and do TV. They can go and do, there's all kinds of other areas for our students to work in. Music videos.
Do we still have music?
Yes.
Yeah, we still
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Not MTV, I don't think, but music videos. Yes, I see them. How's enrollment at C&M?
We're great. Yeah, we're really good.
Students are still wanting, even though the jobs might not be as plentiful as they were.
What we're doing is we're retraining in different areas. So we're not so focused on just like I said, the latest Netflix show that might be shooting. We're training students to look at creating their own businesses, going into business themselves. We're looking at them to be more post-production, more audio production, more TV production. Diversify. Don't set yourself up to be for a failure in one area. Multiply your training.
And that's what we've found that we've been happening. Prior to that,
yeah, it was kind of like
they
you just
hardly
focused.
could keep them in class. They were getting on the set.
Now let's diversify. Let's see you do a lot of different jobs.
So, Alan, Trevor, you're going to be back. And also Jeanette is going to be back because we didn't talk about moving to the rail yard, the big changes. We talked at the beginning of the show, a lot of changes. Well, we talked about some of the changes, but there are more, and we're going to talk in our next show about how AI, artificial intelligence, is affecting this industry of creativity. And if you can't beat them,
Join them.
you gotta
Learn the tool.
learn the tool. Thank you
Join
so
them,
much.
learn the tool.
Learn the tool. Thanks for being a part of this program.
Of course.
We'll be back with them in another show and learn more about the film digital industry here in New Mexico. I'm Diane. Make it a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.